So we're just gonna jump right into this eyeshadow palette collection video. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with all of my high-end palettes. We're gonna start off with these from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So this one right here is the Jackie Einer palette. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is such a beautiful, beautiful palette. This is my favorite shade in the palette. It's called Zam. And oh my gosh, look at this. I just feel like this is such an underrated palette. And I love to use this palette whenever I like go out or I really have a nice event coming up. This is the palette I pull for. Next up is the Carly Bible palette. This one is really cute. Haven't really got much use out of it, but it's just nice to have in the collection. I have the Amrezy palette. Oh, so beautiful. Dominique Cosmetics Transition palette. Dominique Cosmetics Rustic Glam palette. Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream palette. So cute, such a gorgeous fall palette. Oh my god, look at these berries. I have the Celestial Storm palette. Haven't gotten much use out of it, but it is a really pretty color story. Like, love these colors. I just love the colors that she chose for this palette. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive into the Obsessions palette. So this one is the Golds Obsessions palette. Look at this gorgeous palette. I have the Nude Rich Obsessions palette. This one is the Toffee Browns. I have the Khaki Haze palette, the Purple Haze, the Pastel Mint palette. This is super cute, especially for the spring. The Lilac Pastel palette. I got these in a BoxyCharm. I think add-ons, they were like $12, so I had to pick them up. And then lastly, the Pastel Rose, which I haven't even used yet. It's still really cute. How can I forget these two from Dominique Cosmetics? This is the Latte Palette. Like here, oh my gosh, I love this palette. I seriously love this palette. This is like my everyday makeup palette. It's so gorgeous. She did such a great job with this palette. And then I also have the Latte 2 palette. This one I do like. I don't love it as much as the first one, but I really like these shades in here. These, I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan of these shades over here, but this side of the palette is really pretty. Let's go back into Huda because I have 3 more from Huda. So I have the new Nude palette. You guys, I was so obsessed with this. I needed to have it. I waited years to get it because $60 for a palette was just really expensive. Finally got it. I think it's just gorgeous. I never want to touch it, but every look that I create with this palette is just gorgeous. This is just one of the prettiest palettes I've ever seen. She did such an amazing job with this. It's so pretty. Then I have the Mercury Retrograde palette. This one, I'm gonna focus. It's not gonna focus. The packaging is like making it super hard to focus, but this is also a really gorgeous palette. I have the Rose Gold Remastered palette. Haven't gotten too much use out of this one, but I think, wait, I have another Huda palette. I'm missing one. But yeah, this is the Rose Gold Remastered. And then this one right here. Yes, Desert Dusk. Love this palette. This was my first Huda Beauty palette. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the shades in here. Really perfect for the summer. Let's go ahead and move over to Lunar Beauty, and then we'll get over to that Miscellaneous. So I have the Strawberry Dream palette from Lunar Beauty. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Then I have the Greek Goddess palette. You guys, can we just talk about the packaging on this palette? Oh my gosh. Okay, look at how gorgeous these shades look in here. Oops, oh my god, no! I just dug my finger in a shade I never even used. Ooh, that's pretty. But look at this. This is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love it. Then I have the Moonspell palette. You guys, I really love this palette because it literally looks like a book. It's like a witch book or something like that. I think the design is so creative. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So obsessed. I got this last year in October and I just like, oh my goodness, look at that. This is one of my favorite like October fall time palettes. I have the Eternal Eclipse palette. This one I honestly kind of forgot about. I really do love the color story of this palette. I love the shades in here. I think it's super unique to my collection, but I need to play with this some more. I feel like this is a really gorgeous like wintertime palette because of how sultry it is, but I need to like dive into this some more. And then these are like my miscellaneous high-end palettes. Believe it or not, you guys, this is like all of my high-end palettes. Like, it's not too many. It's like, you know, very condensed. This is a Viseart palette that I got in a BoxyCharm. Trust me, you guys, I would not pay $80 for an eyeshadow palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm premium, I think, and I'm so happy that I did because I honestly, truly love the formula of this, and this is like one of my like essentials palettes. And then I have my Violet Voss Coral Crush palette. I did declutter a lot of Violet Voss palettes to my Poshmark. I'll have my Poshmark link down below if you guys are interested or if you like to shop from Poshmark. But this is the only Violet Voss, this one, I feel like I have another one that I don't know where it is. I feel like I lost it. I feel like I have another Violet Voss palette that I'm missing. And I have one palette from Nabla. This is the Side by Side palette. Oh my god, look at how beautiful this palette is from Nabla. Like, oh my goodness, this is really gorgeous. And I think I got this in a Trend Mood box, but this is really pretty. We're gonna go through these. I talk about these so much. I love these palettes. I think they're so worth the price. I know either people love these or they hate these. I'm one of those people that absolutely love the Norvina collection palettes, so you know, I'm just gonna say that. So this one is volume 3. Speaking of volume 3, I'm actually giving away this palette in one of my videos. It's my BoxyCharm like ABH takeover video. I'm giving away this palette and a bunch of other products, so go ahead and enter into that if you want to win this palette. Volume 5, my favorite volume. Oh my gosh, look at these. Beautiful, 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 beautiful palette. I am obsessed with this. This is a purple lover's dream. Oh, this is one of my favorite palettes in my collection. We have volume 4, which I also really love. I think it's really cute. Volume 5 and volume 4 are probably my favorite too. Volume 5 I love more, but like, look at how beautiful this looks. I feel like Barbie would wear something like this. This literally looks like a Barbie palette. It's so pretty. We have volume 2, which is a nice blue palette, really nice for the summertime, definitely gives me summer vibes, and it's nice. And then we have volume 1, which I think volume 5 should have been volume 1. This doesn't really scream too much purple for me. This is probably my least favorite one, but yeah, we have this one. So I have my 2 Jaclyn Cosmetic palettes. So the first one is this one right here. This is volume 2. Look at how beautiful this palette is. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then we have volume 1, which is like, I was so late to the game with this one. I like recently just got this palette and I do like it. I haven't used it too much, but seriously, like there's some really pretty shades in here. This is a really great everyday palette. I can't believe I'm so late to the game, but I got it, so that's all that matters. Yeah, Morphe 35D palette. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I only keep the Morphe palettes that are in like this cardboard packaging just because the plastic ones, they just feel really cheap to me. And I feel like these are just more customized and I get more for my money with like the nice packaging on the front. So this one is the Sweet Oasis palette. This is really, really pretty. Oh, I love the color story of this palette. The Nikita palette right here. I have the Morphe Maddie Ziggler Imagination palette. This was so cute. I was so excited to grab this because I thought it was a cute like spring palette. I do need to get some more use out of this palette though. I have the Morphe Avani Greg palette. Oh, this is so colorful. This is another palette that I kind of just forgot about in my collection, but it's so pretty. I don't really like the cake liners in the palette though. I don't like Morphe's cake liners because one, they don't feel like cake liners. They look like shadows. Like, cake liners don't swatch like that and feel like dusty like that. Not in a bad way, but you know, cake liners feel like sticky almost. These don't feel like cake liners at all. Then I have the Morphe 34 Main Event palette. This is another palette that had those cake liners. I didn't like these either, so yeah. Then I have 2 Be Perfect palettes. I have the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. Look at how beautiful. This palette broke the internet. It was so hard to get. It shipped super fast, but it's so, so, so pretty. This is a great summer palette, and I need to pull this out. Then I have the Carnival Extra Large Pro Palette. This is fairly new to my collection. I got this palette after I got the Carnival 3 palette because I wanted to see, you know, what this one was hitting with, and I do like this one a lot. I love this row in the palette. I haven't used this that much, but I really want to use it some more because there's pretty. I love how each row is a different color story. I think that's really cool. I have 3 palettes from Kylie and then this Violet Voss palette that I remembered that I forgot that I had. This is the I'll Love You Forever palette. I got this in a boxy charm. Really interesting color story. I think it's really pretty for the fall time. This is the Kris Jenner palette. I've tried to declutter this to my Poshmark, but I just think it's so cute. That's why I don't want to get rid of this palette. I just love that there's like so many, you know, I just love that it's a cool tone palette. I only have like one other cool tone palette and it's from Colourpop. So yeah, that's, you know, that's that. So this one I really love for like an everyday palette. Can't remember what this one was called. I think this was like from her Leopard birthday collection palette. This one's really, really pretty. Not gonna lie, the palettes that come in this sizing from Kylie, I really like. I did get rid of my Grinch palette. I know you guys are probably like, girl, what? I got rid of my Grinch palette and I put it on my Poshmark. I just, after using it a couple times, I kept using the same shades and I was like, this is not really working for me. The shades are too light. This palette, I think I've used once. I only got it because it was like Kendall's collab and I love Kendall. So I was like, let me get this. I also kept the packaging because I thought it was super cute. I wish this was the cover of the palette instead of this, but you know, that's okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into my drugstore palettes. So this right here, I'm super excited about because, I mean, well, I don't know. They're not really too much drugstore. Most of them are drugstore, like inexpensive, affordable palettes, and then others are just like, you know, really affordable. So we're gonna just start off with my BH Cosmetic palettes. So, oh wait, I have so many more. Hold on, wait. So now we can get into my more affordable palettes here, which I'm super excited about. I think this is really exciting. This one is Do Not Disturb. If you guys do not follow me on my TikTok, I did do a like tutorial of a nice pretty cut crease on my TikTok using this palette. I told you guys with my TikTok I'm going to be doing like exclusive reviews on certain products and I'm not going to do on YouTube, and this collection was one of them. Love this palette. Love the color story. Pigmented. Oh my god. So pigmented, you guys. Oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh. BH Cosmetics is so good. This one called Looking Like a Snack. So pretty. Low-key Love You. This one's a really gorgeous summer palette. More neutral, everyday almost. Like the pops of red in here are really pretty as well. And then we have Optimistic AF. This one is really gorgeous too. These are the 2 new BH Cosmetic travel palettes. I tried to film with these 2 and I did not like how the video came out. So I never like refilmed with it again. But this is the Paris palette. And then this one right here is the Puerto Rico palette. Ooh, I have to use this. Oh my gosh. I have to use those. Then I have the Blueberry Muffin palette from the Brunch collection. I also have the Mimosa palette from the Brunch collection. And then I also have the Avocado Toast palette from the Brunch collection. This one was probably my favorite one just because of the color story, and it definitely reminds me of Avocado Toast, and I really hope that they come out with more products for the Brunch collection, like more palettes and stuff, because I think that collection was so cute and I loved it. Lastly, from BH Cosmetics, I have the BFF Alondra and Elsie palette. This is really pretty as well. Ooh, I love this. This is a pretty palette. I have to sit this one out. Pretty. Let's go ahead and move into my Cara Beauty palettes. If you guys did not know, I do have an affiliate code with Cara Beauty. It is code TATIANNAANESA. You can get money off your purchase, so you can use it. Feel free. If not, it's totally okay. This is the Free Spirit and Wild Heart palette. Look at this. This is beautiful. This one is the Bailey versus Kaylee palette. This one is really pretty as well. Then we're getting into my favorite palettes from Cara Beauty. It's the Pro series. So they have 3 Pro series that I don't own that I do want to like pick up. You guys can get these palettes at TJ Maxx, you know, after a while, after they've been out for a while. But yeah, so this one is the Essentials. Look at this. That's beautiful. It's so hard to see, you guys, because of the packaging. This one right here is called Gentle Teaser. This one is more on the peachy corally side. Then we have this one right here, which is Havana Club. And then this one right here is an all glitter palette. It's called Pop That Glitz. Look at that. So beautiful. I love this palette, especially when I just like need a really pretty glitter to go on the lid. This is that palette. Then this one right here is called the Traveler. I love this one. I love the greens and the neutrals. It's probably one of my favorites. We have this one. This one is an all matte palette. This is called Mind Trap. It's just a colorful rainbow palette. And then this one is my favorite one. It's called You Had Me at Aloha. I love this one because you have the pastels, but you have the corresponding like normal like deeper shades. Love the color story of this. I think it's really, really pretty and so well thought out. This is the one I probably use the most. I really, really love this color story. Let's go ahead and move into this palette, which is like on the verge of being decluttered because it just shattered everywhere and it just makes everything so messy. This is the e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette. Really pretty for the summertime. This shade, I don't know what happened to the shade, but this shade spilled on a ton of my other palettes. It just was a mess, but this is a really pretty e.l.f. palette. This is probably my favorite palette that e.l.f. came out with. Then we have the Wet n Wild Nautical Scents palette. This is from the SpongeBob collab. You would think that like e.l.f. made this because it's literally like the same packaging. It's the same packaging. But this is super pretty, you guys. I don't know if they still sell this palette, but I love the shimmers in this. Like, look at this. Like, they're chunky, but once you actually like blend them, they're really, really pretty. This one right here is from Makeup Revolution. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to swatch this for y'all because when I tell you this is probably one of the best palettes like of shimmers ever. Like, this is a palette all like full of shimmers. I got this for free with like my Revolution order. And I was shocked, like, oh my God, wait till I swatch these for y'all. Y'all are gonna be like, ooh. Okay, do you guys see this? This is a $8 Makeup Revolution palette that I got for free. Let's see. That first one didn't swatch too well. Look at this. These are so pretty. Oh my gosh. This one right here is probably my favorite. Look at that. Oh my God. So beautiful. I love this palette. All right, let's move into my Revolution Bratz palette. So I have the Jade palette right here. I have the Chloe palette. I have the Yasmin palette right here, very cool toned. And then I have the Sasha palette, which is my favorite one. I love Sasha, but I also just love the color story of this palette. Then we have my Makeup Revolution Storybook palettes. This is the Aristocrats palette from the Aristocrat collection. I did not even use this because I was going to do a video on it. Never did. Didn't think anyone was interested in it, so I just never did a video. I don't know if I'm going to give this away or what am I going to do with this, but I probably will put this in a giveaway, to be honest. I don't know, but I never used it. Storybook palettes. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw, but they do have a new one. It's Jasmine's Storybook. I haven't purchased it yet, but I definitely will. I already have the other 4, so it just makes sense to purchase it. But this one right here is my favorite. This is Tiana's Storybook. Oh my gosh, I love it. Ooh, what happened there? This one is definitely my favorite one. Look at this. Definitely screams Tiana. Love it. This one is Belle's Storybook. Really pretty. Then we have Cinderella's, which of course is very, very blue. Like, come on, very blue. And then we have the newest one in my collection, which is Ariel's. So I did do a video on every single one of these storybooks, so you can definitely check them out. I'll link them in a card above of some sort. I'll try to remember, but definitely check out those in-depth videos if you're interested in picking up any of these palettes. Let's go ahead and move on to some of my favorite palettes in my entire makeup collection, my Beauty Bae palettes. So Beauty Bae is one of my favorite brands when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. I think their formula is so amazing, so underrated, so superior. I just love their palettes, like 1000% love them. So the first one is the new Romantic palette. This one is no longer available, I think, or is it? It might still be, I don't know. But this was their Valentine's Day palette from I don't know, was it this year or last year? I think this was the Valentine's Day palette from this year. Love this palette. Like, look at the shimmers in here. So pretty. I love this palette so much. And then they have like these like cream, like foiled palettes. I mean, they have palettes, foiled shades. Girl, I love them. This one right here is called Sunset Horizons. This is, I think this one is still available. It's a part of their Soul line. It wasn't like a part of a specific collection, but this one is like their Sunset palette. Then this one, which I know is no longer available, is the Book of Magic palette. Look at this color story. Oh my gosh, like you guys, oh my gosh. Look at this. Oh my goodness, I love this palette so much, and I'm so sad that it is no longer available because it was such a great palette. Oh my god, such a great palette. Then we have the Naked Tutorials X Beauty Bae palette, which is really pretty. This is my favorite shade in the palette right here. This one is called Pride. Look at this shade, oh my gosh. Do y'all see that? It's a duochrome, really pretty. Identity palette. This is not too exciting. These were like my first Beauty Bae palettes. There are definitely better ones with better color stories. But yeah, something that's really cool about these particular like palettes that I'm about to show you is that they basically tell you, they already lay out the color for you. So on the side, it says like highlight, pop, liner, crease, transition, base. So, and then on the top it says 1 through 7. So basically they give you a look for every day of the week, which is pretty cool. So for day 1 of the week, Monday or whatever, this is your look for Monday, this is your look for Tuesday, and so forth. So I love how they laid out these particular palettes right here that I'm about to show you. Like the next one is the Evolve palette, has the same type of like look for the week everyday layout, just a different color story. I love this for beginners. I think it's really, really cool and it's great. Seriously, if you are just getting into makeup, I highly recommend Beauty Bae palettes. These 42 pan palettes are only $20. So only $20, and the shades in here are beautiful. Like the formula is amazing. This one's the Origin palette. Okay, now these are not laid out in any way. These are just normal palettes, a part of their line. So this one is their Fiery 2.0 palette. This is their new Fiery palette. Look at how beautiful this palette is. Girl, sign me up. Look at this yellow. Can we just talk about this yellow and this like crystal shade? Ooh, I have to use these soon. I have to use these. Oh my gosh, look at that, y'all. This is Beauty Bae. Beauty Bae. And we have the Nude Palettes. If you love nudes, you're gonna love this palette. This is just a palette full of nudes. It's like great for like makeup artists as well. Seriously, you guys, such a great palette. Then we have the original Fiery palette, which is not my favorite. I love the 2.0, but this one's a lot more neutral. If you love neutrals that much, you might like this with like your like reds and your oranges, you know. And then lastly, we have the Bright Matte palette. So they have two of these. They have the Bright Matte, where it's just all matte shades, and then they have like the Brights palette, which has, it's the same color story except some of the shades are shimmers, some are mattes. So I picked the all matte one because I feel like I get the most use out of the mattes rather than having all shimmers in it. But yeah, so I went and pulled all of my Juvia's Place palettes. So like Colourpop, I do collect Juvia's Place palettes. I still have not purchased the quads yet. I don't think they're coming to Ulta, so I might just have to get them off of Juvia's Place's website. So let's go ahead and start off with quads since we are talking about them. So this is the Disco Party Fumi X Juvia's Place quad. Look at how pretty this is. Ooh, this is pretty. I don't even think I've used this yet. Oh, that's a glitter. These are glitters. Oh, wow, okay. Ooh, that's pretty. All right, but that's really gorgeous. The other one is the Melissa palette, Melissa X Juvia's Place. This one is really, really pretty. I have used this one. I love this one a lot. Then I have the Saharan by Juvia's Place palette. Really cute, really nice fall palette. Then I have the Afrique palette. This one I don't really use too often, but it is a very interesting color story and I love the packaging on this. I love the packaging on all of Juvia's Place products, but like those specifically are gorgeous. Nubian 3 Coral palette. This was my first Juvia's Place palette. I have decluttered this so many times, but then I had like second thoughts and I was like, okay, I cannot declutter this. It's just, the color story is just not my favorite. But I did get a lot of use out of it though, because I kept wanting it to work for me. But yeah, so I kept it because I collect Juvia's Place palettes. So then we have the Masquerade mini palette. Ooh, this is pretty. I don't even think I've used this one yet. Ooh, okay. Then I have the Magic mini palette. I love the shimmers in here. They're really, really gorgeous. This is such a different color story. Then I have the Nubian 2, which is my favorite, like one of my favorite fall palettes. I love the shades in here. So beautiful, so perfect for fall. Really, really gorgeous. Then we have the Wahala 2 palette, which, oh my gosh, you guys, this shade right here is my favorite. It's a duochrome or trichrome, whatever it is. I don't know if you guys can even see, but look at that. Oh my gosh. I love this palette. Ooh. And then we have the Wahala palette, which is my favorite of the two. I love this one. I think the color story in this is beautiful. It's different. I just have so much fun playing with this palette. I love this one. Then we have these 9-pan palettes. So this one is the Nomad palette. I don't think they sell this one anymore, but this one has been on sale for a while. But it's a really nice color story, not gonna lie. I think this is probably like one of their first like color stories they came out with. And then we have the Saharan palette. This one's really pretty for fall as well. And then the Warrior 2, which is an all matte palette, and I love this palette for every day. So gorgeous. I love this palette. Look at how beautiful this is. Then I have the Festival palette. This one is very different. I don't get too much use out of this, but I do love how unique this palette is. It's really beautiful. Then we have the infamous Warrior palette. This is like everyone's favorite. It's a great everyday palette. The shimmers in here are beautiful. If you guys have never tried Juvia's Place, you are honestly missing out. Like, this is one of the best shimmer formulas on the market, like hands down. They have some of the best shimmers. You guys see this? Those are one swipe swatches. This one is my favorite. This is the Tribe palette by Juvia's. I love the color story of this. I think it is absolutely beautiful. By the way, the pan sizes on these are humongous, so you are not gonna make a dent in this palette. This is the Zulu palette, more like colorful rainbow palette. And then this one is the Warrior 2, which is like another one of my favorites. I love the color story of this. This blues, like the blues down here are beautiful. I love this palette. Now we're gonna move into the minis. So this one is the Vanessa X Juvia's Place mini palette. This one is the Bronzed Rustic palette. This is from their summer like bronze collection when they released their bronzers. Mauves palette. Oops, are you focusing? This one is the Chocolates. We have the Yami Angelina Juvia's Place palette. Blushed Rose. The Taupes. The Nudes. The Nubian Glow. The Nubian Royal. The Berries. The Violets. And then lastly, the Sweet Pinks. Very pretty. Love my Juvia's Place palettes. Seriously, love all of them. Now we're gonna move into my Glamlight palettes. If you guys don't know, I already have like a ranking all of my Glamlight palettes in a video. I'll link it in the card above. I did it at the end of last year, so there are like 2 palettes that are not in that video. Since then, like 2 came out this year, so yeah, you can go check it out if you're interested. So the first one is the Burger palette from Glamlight. I seriously love their food theme palettes. I think they're amazing. This is so cool. Look at this. I keep the packaging on these palettes too because, like, why not? But like, look at this shade. This is like one of my favorites. This shade right here. Ooh, gorgeous. Okay, so next up is the Cake palette from Glamlight. Why am I saying from Glamlight? They're all from Glamlight that I'm about to show you guys. This one was my favorite one until the Ice Cream palette came out, but this is beautiful. The shades in here are stunning. Their shimmers are great. Alongside Juvia's Place, Glamlight has amazing shimmers. This one right here is the Taco palette. So this one, literally taco, super cool. The Donut palette right here, super cute, tiny, really pretty color story. Love the shades in here. Pie palette, look how pretty that is. I have the Red Velvet Cupcake palette. Look at how cute and tiny. It's so cute, so tiny, and I love it. Then we have the Donut palette. Well, the chocolate donut palette. Let me just like phrase that. This is the chocolate donut palette. This is more of a neutral palette. So cute. Then I have the ice cream palette, which is one of my favorites from Glamlight. It is like my favorite. But yeah, look at how pretty. And then the Michaela Glamlight palette, which is another one of my favorites. I've gotten so much use out of this palette. These 2 are my favorites. Like, if you could get any palettes from Glamlight, it would be these 2 palettes, like, truly. Then I have the Pro Paint palette. And then I have the Paint palette, which is a lot bigger than the Pro. And then lastly, from Glamlight, I have the Pizza palette, which is in a little cute little pizza box, which I love. And it looks like this. I don't know if you guys could see. Like this, super cute. This, I think, was the palette that like got them like really out there. Look at how pretty that is. Love it. That was all of my palettes. Palettes I did not show you guys was Colourpop because I'm doing that in a separate video. So stay tuned for that. Colourpop is the one brand I have the most eyeshadows of, so that needs its own video. But you know, I hope you guys enjoyed my in-depth eyeshadow palette collection. I did do a lot of decluttering from my last eyeshadow palette collection video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Definitely stay tuned for the Colourpop one because that is coming very, very soon. So I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.